It's now time for the college football breakdown. What are we, week 3? This is week 3, isn't it?
Week 3 officially. Week 3 plus 0 or 0 plus 3, I guess.
We're going to go with week 3. Number 1, Georgia dominates South Carolina 48-7. If anybody says Georgia's not going for the national title, they're high.
Did
Georgia,
you think that was happening at the beginning of the season?
I don't know how anybody doesn't just automatically give them the, here you go, you're in. They got to go run through Alabama. And I tell you what, if they were to lose to Alabama, they're still in.
Lose to Alabama by like a score or less.
I don't care if they lose by 2.
I think the people in the committee will.
I think they're dumb.
We've already discussed that and agree though.
And I mean, in all reality, and we'll get to the other games. In all reality, Georgia is a bunch of men out there playing football.
Oh yeah.
So Georgia is my pick for at least going to the national championship. Number 2, Alabama takes on UL Monroe, beats them 63-7. Shocker.
Yeah.
Moff, you could take this next one. I'm not speaking on that moron.
Dabo Sweeney shows off the wheels, running onto the field as number 5 Clemson beats Louisiana Tech 48-20.
I thought he was gonna fall. It reminded me of like one of those little kids running. You know how like little kids start running downhill on concrete. You're like, whoa, you're gonna fall. That's how I felt ever watching him do that.
You mean like the guy in the Ohio State band last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim. It's funny.
Yeah.
WVU people have done it too. It's just funny every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I literally felt like when like my little brothers would run down the slope driveway, and it always made me like cringe.
Ugh.
Number 7, you.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's all you want to do?
I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
I like how we're just not talking about the game, but the fact that he wait, bigger than sports. I did see a thing where Louisiana Tech, so Clemson had a lineman whose sister passed away of cancer, 15-year-old sister, and Louisiana Tech's each player on their team wrote a handwritten letter to this player because he opted not to play to like stand with his family, and I guess Dabo was like really cool about it, like gave him the option. They each wrote him a handwritten letter and like delivered them to him. I thought that was really bigger than sports move.
Nice. All right. Number 7, USC continues their strong start, beating Fresno State 45-17 in the 1 a.m. game.
Yeah, I fell asleep long before this was over.
It was a 10:30 game.
Good grief. Like,
Might as well be 1 a.m.
I wanted to watch it.
I know.
But when you get through the Iowa game, which is any Iowa games, like taking muscle relaxers and putting yourself to sleep, you're not getting to the USC game. Not here on the East Coast.
So
not going to happen.
Fun thing about being in Colorado last NFL Sunday was the game started at 11.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
Went to Topgolf, watched the first games.
nice.
That's pretty
Still had most of the day left for you.
That is nice. So you're saying we should move to Colorado?
I'm saying that it's a whole different ball game watching football over there.
So, Jim,
Yes.
what does USC have to do for you to get on board?
I'm not going to do it. They have to beat somebody like that's legit. Hold on. Talk about the next game, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
Number 9, Kentucky starts 3-0 as they beat Youngstown State 31-0.
Youngstown State Penguins, right? Isn't that them?
They are the Penguins. You're correct.
Yes. So, Alex, to answer your question, October 8th, they play Washington State, and October 15th, they play Utah. If they come out of both those games with if they decisively beat Washington State and they win against Utah, I will call them contenders.
Okay.
What are those games?
What's that?
What are those games?
October 8th and October 15th.
What do they do before then?
They play or Oregon State and Arizona State.
The Beavers are no one to be overlooked.
Yeah, I don't care. Those 2 games are my test games for them.
Okay. Number 10, Arkansas survives a slow start and upset-minded Missouri State team, winning 38-27, thanks to outscoring the Bears 21-3 in the fourth quarter.
If
Yeah, this
Missouri State had won that game, that would have shook the SEC pretty good. Because you're looking at Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia.
What would it have shook?
Well, the SEC talk is that it's Alabama and Georgia's,
Mhm.
and then it's the fight at the bottom, and everybody just kind of puts Tennessee and Kentucky below Arkansas. Like it's Arkansas and then the field. If Arkansas had lost, it would have busted the 3 spot open for who's the 3rd team in the SEC.
Kentucky, the better ranked team right now.
That's not what everybody's saying on TV, Muff. That is not what everybody's saying. They say
I disagree with the pundits on ESPN.
I agree with you too. I do not believe Tennessee is the 3rd team, but
say Kentucky is.
Yes, I agree with you. But the people on TV, that's the talk. And I guess when you have 2 powerhouses at the top, what else are you going to talk about on SEC channels?
That's fair. So is Arkansas a contender, Jim?
Yes, I believe.
Even though they only beat Missouri State by 11 and almost lost to them.
they're better than half
Than
of.
USC?
Yeah.
I think you went to Colorado and did some things. Number 25, Oregon sticks it to number 12, BYU, 41-20. Does this mean the Ducks are back on track?
Ugh.
No.
They definitely
They
lost
don't
some
have to
bets.
round-
They lost some bets for the crew here.
They did.
Yeah.
Nate,
I
what do
don't-
you think?
I don't think Oregon has enough opportunities to really get back from that Georgia game where they got throttled.
Yeah. Or are we going to say, and how we started this, Georgia is that damn good?
They are that damn good.
I think there's something to be said about Georgia and anybody they beat right now.
Like if they smoked Oregon and Oregon beats BYU like this, I fear Georgia.
I agree. Another bigger than sports moment. Good on BYU for honoring Oregon player Spencer Webb, who fell to his death this offseason by putting a bouquet of flowers on the field and running out onto the field with an Oregon flag, Oregon University of Oregon flag that had Webb's name and number on it.
Good on him. Good on him.
Number 24, Texas A&M recovers after the loss last week to App State, beating number 13 Miami 17-9.
I think Oregon should jump them, even after beating Miami.
That's the AP polls are out, so I mean
I haven't looked at it yet. But we don't here on the show, we don't rank it for what until the committee ranks it.
Yeah, that's usually when we start doing our top 10.
Yeah,
right?
so we're not going to talk about it. But if I was a voter, Oregon's better than Texas A&M. Frankly, because I hate Jimbo Fisher.
I don't know if Oregon's better than Texas A&M, but I think that I don't know. If you look at it, yeah, I would say Oregon deserves to be above Texas A&M, but I don't necessarily know that they're the better football team.
Fair enough.
Number 14, Utah puts away San Diego State 35-7. How much does Utah have to win by week in and week out to become relevant in championship talks again this season?
4 scores.
I'm okay with 35-7 for this one.
That's 4 scores.
Yeah,
But
you're
they
right.
consistently have to win by 4+ scores every game.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
even
they need to
be-
blow out.
to even
Yes.
sniff the top 8
Mhm.
at this point, right?
Yes. Well, they would have to be like a USC.
And they got to beat the dog shit out of USC.
Not the dog shit. I think they just have to beat USC.
No, and I think they need to beat because Florida's not having a good run. Florida beat them, and Florida looks bad.
Yeah. All right.
Nate?
Well, Jim, you said Utah plays USC October 15th.
Yeah.
So are they in the 2 separate divisions so they could see each other again in December?
I think so, yes. That's true. That is true. Good point. So they don't have to beat them bad, they just have to beat them twice.
More than
Yes.
likely.
Yeah, that's fair. Next
Behind
up,
that, number 15, Tennessee does the job against Akron 63-6.
I think that's a good win for Tennessee.
Disagree.
Akron is not a slouch. Tennessee beats them 63-6.
Akron is not a slouch.
No, I don't think so.
Why are they not a slouch? I need something for you to back this up, not just because they're a team from Ohio.
I think they're a unique school that scores at least 2 touchdowns, even on Ohio State.
Is this just setting you up to defend Toledo scoring points on Ohio State later?
There's no defense there. That's my point. There's no defense there. I don't think Toledo should have scored those points. I think Akron typically can score, especially on a Tennessee. Like, this is a good showing for Tennessee.
Okay. Number 18, Florida beats USF 31-28. It was come from behind win too, if I remember correctly.
Yep, and that's what I mean. Florida does not look good.
This puts Tennessee. I mean, that win against Tennessee, that win for Tennessee looks way, way better than this win for Florida.
Yep, I concur.
But I'll tell you what, with all those players from Florida that go D1, you never know what's going to happen when you get those in-state games. When you get Florida State, South Florida, Miami. I mean,
that's a good
that's
point.
Be a toss turn and you're out.
That's a good point.
I agree. Number 19, Wake Forest survives Liberty, 37-36.
Yeah.
Nothing else to say, I don't think, really.
Yeah.
Number 20, Ole Miss blanks Georgia Tech 42-0.
I like Ole Miss. I think they'll be there at the end, shocking the world. I think they'll catch somebody.
You know their quarterback's not there anymore, right?
I still like Ole Miss.
Okay.
I'm still a fan.
Fan of them or fan of Lane Kiffin?
Ooh.
I like Lane Kiffin, but I also like Ole Miss.
I'm a fan of the powder blue jerseys, I will say.
All right.
And number 23, Pitt puts a win on the board this week, beating Western Michigan 34-13.
That's right.
Okay.
This was ugly though too in the beginning.
Yeah. In non-top 25 action, before we get into the Big Ten, and Alex, drum roll, we're going to talk about the Big 12 too. App State pulls off a miracle in Boone, North Carolina, winning on a last-second Hail Mary over the Trojans of Troy, 28-26, with the college game day hype. Alex, I just want you to know. Long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart.
Like a diamond ring. Oh, we're nice.
I
Did they watch the end of that game or they just see the Hail Mary?
I just saw the Hail Mary.
I was not watching that game otherwise.
Ultimate choke job.
Honestly, I loved watching game day in somewhere different in Boone. It was fun. Those people were pumped to be there. 3 kids got full rides for a whole year for having good signs.
Yeah.
They were only supposed to pick one, and they brought up like the top 3 like contenders, and they announced the winner, and everyone's like, woohoo. And then they're like, oh, we actually have something for the other 2 too. And they're like, they decided that your guys were good too, so they're paying everyone for a year. I was like, that'd be awesome.
That is pretty sweet.
And the kids were hyped. I mean, those kids had camped out since the day before at like 9:30 a.m. to get seats. Like I feel like when you go to an App State, you don't think like, oh, college game day may be here. So it's like a surprise, cool experience. They talked a lot about the area down there and stuff. Overall, I just thought it was a cool week for them.
Jim, do you know why we were even singing that song? Do you know the reason?
Luke Combs was on there.
He went to App State.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. So I forget that Muff can't see me sometimes. I'm like, I don't think he knew that.
I knew that. Our guys, Coastal Carolina, beat Buffalo 30-26.
I feel good about that. That's good stuff.
The Chanticleers doing their thing. Notre Dame gets their first win of the season, beating Cal 24-17. But let's not bury the lead here. Who all saw that clip where the offensive coordinator was just absolutely lambasting their quarterback?
It's on our story.
Backup quarterback.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's on our story.
Backup quarterback.
Well, it won't be on there tomorrow, but
good stuff. Good stuff.
You don't have to do
know
much.
What else?
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was going to rub some more salt in the Notre Dame wound. Marshall actually got beat by Bowling Green this week.
Oh, buddy.
You didn't have to do much lip reading in that one, just so we're all clear.
No, you did not.
And
to do his bleeping job.
Do it. Next, let's get into the Big Ten rundown. Number 3, Ohio State explodes offensively, handling Toledo 77-21. Jim, your thoughts on the Buckeyes?
The amount of points and that offense, very explosive. I think a running back got hurt. We still have another running back. Hell, we got 4 running backs. We have tons of receivers. CJ Stroud is fantastic. The offense is already, I mean, the story's been written. Defensively, they're gaga over this defensive coordinator, but they let 21 points go on the board from a Toledo team that gouged them deep. Toledo, not an Alabama, not a Clemson, not a Michigan, not a Penn State, who, by the way, and we're going to get to that, looked lights out against Auburn. If I'm an Ohio State fan or I'm Ryan Day, I'm nervous. That's how I feel.
Fair enough. Number 4, Michigan blanks Connecticut 59-0. Alex, you still want to talk about Connecticut?
Nope.
Okay.
I didn't take them this week.
I know. I heard about
I
it.
was re-tempted by them, but I didn't take them.
Jim talked you out of that one, I believe.
No, I don't know why. I think I just like UConn, so I want them to be good. And I don't know why.
Dumb.
They can be good during basketball season, Alex, not during football season.
Yes.
Number 6, Oklahoma takes advantage of a post-Frost era Nebraska, winning 49-14.
Yeah.
Defensive coordinator got fired. Largest lopsided victory for Oklahoma in the Oklahoma versus Nebraska rivalry since 1991.
I wanted to take Oklahoma because I was like, but I was just afraid enough to not. But I didn't. Nebraska didn't show anything with or without Scott Frost that makes me feel like they're like scary.
And if we're blaming this on the defensive coordinator, why didn't we let Scott Frost fire the defensive coordinator and save $7 million?
I think they're just trying anything they possibly can to be like, we're trying, fans, we swear.
I have to imagine that Frost brought in the defensive coordinator and they didn't want to fire them both
Yeah,
at the
one
same
week.
time.
You get 1 week.
You get 1 week. 1 week. And by the way, you're playing number 6 Oklahoma. 1 week.
Yeah.
Okay, this is bad. We'll move on.
Washington upsets number 11 Michigan State 39-28. Should we be giving the Pac-12 more credit right now?
Yes. Absolutely yes.
Wait,
that's a big man. That takes a big man to say that, Jim.
Wait, pump the brakes. You don't think that USC is a contender, but you want to give the Pac-12 more credit. Elaborate.
I am not giving the USC the roses until they prove they deserve the roses. Washington just upset Michigan State.
Yes.
The weeks before, Pac-12 teams are upsetting teams that should not be upset. Wisconsin got beat by a Pac-12 team. If I'm right. The Pac-12 as a whole are beating teams they should not be beating. USC has not beat anybody they shouldn't beat. As a conference, they're showing out.
Okay.
I thought Washington State was the betting favorite in that game. Washington was the betting favorite in that game.
They were.
So can we call it an upset?
Yeah.
AP, according to the AP, we can.
Yeah.
Vegas may not
I
have felt
think
the same way, but the AP said this is an upset.
Now, I did see, too, they said Washington, and all 3 of their games have combined for over 500 yards of total offense.
Find that betting line. Moving on to number 22, Penn State goes into Auburn and comes away with a 41-20 win. I got to watch the second half of this game, which was the more exciting one overall. And I will say that Nick Singleton is going to be a dude at running back for them, and Sean Clifford needs just to hold on to the show and let them do their thing.
Go ahead, Jim.
Spoken like a man who doesn't think James Franklin's at the wheel.
Go on.
I agree with that entire segue. That was fantastic. I think that Penn State has the potential and the weapons to be a threat. I mean, they handled Auburn. I watched the second half as well. Great game. They looked lights out. The defense, great defense. It was as if they took Franklin's headset away. It was like they were like, hey, we're going to give you the Joe Pa and the later stages of his life treatment, and you're just going to stand there and look good, okay? We got this. That's what it looked like. And if they win, do that. Do that all the time.
What does Penn State have to do for Jen Franklin not to be on your firing seat?
Nothing. I want him fired.
Okay.
Why?
They have to go win the national title, Muff. Because he's made so many blunders. That's why.
Okay.
All right. Southern Illinois disposes of Northwestern 31-24. The Salukis beat Wildcats.
We fire Scott Frost, but we probably will give an extension to what's his face in Northwestern.
Oh, because he's Northwestern through and through.
Okay.
That's a graduation rate thing right there, Jim.
Can't we just make some trades? Can't we do some like redividing of the conferences? Like we're gonna take Cal and USC. We'll grab a Washington. We'll give a Northwestern and a Rutgers. Like, can't we make some swapping?
So you want to make a super conference?
Yes.
But
it has to be the Big Ten.
Yes.
I don't care what we call it. Northwestern gets beat by Southern Illinois, and it's like, okay.
Syracuse starts 3-0 this season, beating Purdue 32-29.
I'm a big Syracuse guy, but beating a Big Ten team, there's another issue. Good grief.
See, I was a little bit on the Purdue track. I thought Purdue was going to get Syracuse this week.
I'm glad you didn't bet it.
Me too, because I almost did. That was damn close.
You're welcome.
Indiana squeaks out a win over the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky, 33-30 in overtime. Jim, any initial thoughts? More to come in the betting episode, but initial thoughts?
More to come. This makes me angry.
Okay. Rutgers improves to 3-0 after a 16-14 win over Temple. Is the Penn State rivalry renewed?
We'll see.
I wouldn't joke about it too much, just on the off chance that somehow Penn State loses. You're going to have to hear about it even more.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, those
teams
have to
keep the brakes
come in. If they meet both undefeated and Rutgers wins, Muff, I'm going to Happy Valley and I'm starting the chance to fire him. I will get a vacation day. I am going. I will have a sign. I'll be a one-man show up there.
Do we have this all marked down?
I will take the podcast with me. I got the mic. I will be interviewing people that walk to class. Be like, should we fire Jake Franklin? It'll be a thing.
There's a preacher out there who's out there like every day preaching that you should probably team up with. See if you can get him aboard.
We'll go.
He's a viral sensation in Penn State social media world.
I swear to God, Muff, if Rutgers and Penn State are undefeated and Rutgers beats Penn State, I'm going to Happy Valley. You should go with me.
I probably would, just to see what happens. Minnesota.
I'll dress it like all black and just follow at a distance.
That's good. You can get the behind the scenes scoop.
Yeah.
Minnesota tosses the Buffaloes of Colorado over a cliff, 49-7.
Good for them. Row the boat.
Yeah. Solid win.
Wisconsin goes back to what they do best, beating New Mexico State 66-7.
Beating teams they should beat.
That's it. Iowa wins another low-scoring game, beating Nevada 27-0 after 3 separate lightning delays. This game ended at like 1 or after 1.
More on the betting show.
God said, listen, they've scored too many points. We need to slow it back down. Lightning.
That's very true, I think. Maryland gets ready for Big Ten play, improving to 3-0 after a 34-27 win over SMU, outscoring the Mustangs 14-0 in the fourth quarter to get the win.
Good win for Maryland.
Yeah.
Good win.
Good wins. Alex?
Big 12 talk.
Now relinquish the show to you to talk about the Big 12, since we'll give you a little platform since you're a Big 12 fan.
Make it quick.
Yeah. I think I'll belabor this. Just kidding. Oklahoma State taking care of business against Arkansas Pine Bluff. What a game. 63-7. I just wanted to see Jim's face. Number 16, NC State, unfortunately, beats Texas Tech 27-14. Number 17, Baylor gets back on the winning side of things after losing to BYU last week. winning 42-7 over Texas State. 21 Texas comes out, Jim, after losing to Bama last week, winning 41-20 against the Roadrunners of UTSA. Can Texas sustain without Quinn Ewers?
Maybe.
Nah.
They almost lost this one.
What?
Like in the beginning, they were down.
You're right. At the beginning, it took a minute to get clipping along, but Bijan Robinson's good. I mean, he's going to help not having Quinn Ewers, but having him. WVU finally posts their first win of the season, dispatching of the Towson, 65-7. I don't even know what they're called, Towson something, 65-7. There is very little consolation to that win, but I'm just glad we have one in the win category. I like that we won big. If we'd have won that game like 30-7, I would have been losing my holy shit. Is Neil Brown still on a hot seat? Yes. Yes, he is. Basically, if he loses to Virginia Tech next week, I will be going to morning. No, I'm just kidding.
You should, Alex. You should.
No, if we lose to Virginia Tech next week, he's dead to me. Kansas continues its hot start, beating Dana Holgerson-led Houston Cougars 48-30. This gives me a little bit of consolation from last week because Kansas isn't bad. Kansas has been bad for years and years, but Kansas is not currently a bad team. They're not still, we should have beat them, but they are not as bad as Kansas of old.
Yeah,
the Houston players got into fisticuffs on the sideline at this game when one of the receivers coming off the field after an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty with his helmet off and another wide receiver taking offense to the whole situation amidst the Cougars' free fall after jumping out to a 14-0 lead, pushing his teammate, and then they fell to the ground throwing haymakers.
Good
Where
stuff.
you at? Where you at, Dana?
Probably somewhere drinking a Red Bull.
Yes,
Probably.
with his crazy ass hair.
So I saw a secondary video of this, and the same teammate pushed him out of the huddle towards the sideline, and then later, like 10 seconds later, followed him to the sideline and then pushed him again.
I want to know what happened, like the words. But good for Kansas.
It's NSFW right there, Alex. NSFW. And I would like at some point for us to revisit the fact that I talked about Kansas being a better team this year and it coming true.
All right,
Yeah.
Mark, you want your flowers. We get it.
Give me my flowers, guys. And that wraps up this week's college football breakdown.